Hello guys, welcome back to Muscle Life, where it's all about muscle and lifestyle. Alright, so me and Philippe, we just got done with my workout and we did shoulders. So just wanted to show you guys what we did, and we are trying to build our shoulders. Everyone wants a massive shoulder, right? So this clip is all about building a nice round looking shoulder. So this is how it goes. Before that, let's jump into shoulders. Like what's the anatomy for shoulders? So shoulder is basically made up of like three heads. We have the front delts, which is right in front of you, and then we have the side delts, also known as your medial delt, also known as your lateral head, and then we have the rear delts here. So basically shoulder is made up of three different heads. So the best way to train shoulder is to hit all the heads in such a way that it looks rounded. So the best way to do it is actually hit it from all the angles. You need to hit it from front, your side, and your rear. So here's the problem: when people train shoulders, all they're doing is training their front delt all the time. All they're doing is pressing the movement. It's good to press, but the problem is when you're pressing a lot of your stuff, like especially when you're doing your shoulder press, your military press, or your dumbbell press, all you're doing is you're hitting mostly your front delts. I'm not saying it's not going to hit your sides and your rear, but yeah, it's mostly your front delts. So make sure when you're hitting shoulders, you need to hit it from all the angles to get that round, full look. Before you jump into the workout, let's talk about warm-up. It's very essential for you to warm up, especially when you're doing shoulders, and it's very risky. So make sure when you're training shoulders, do a good warm-up. It might take like 10-15 minutes extra, but get a good flow in your muscles, and then you just get started with your workout. The first workout that we did was a compound movement. What I generally like doing when I'm doing shoulder is to get done with the compound first, use as heavy weight as possible with good form, and so that's what we started with. We did military press. So instead of doing it in front of us, we did like behind the neck. So it's the same way of doing it, but the bar is behind you. So all you do is the same military press, but instead of bringing in front, you just put it on behind. And a lot of people will talk about, okay, behind the neck is very dangerous for you. You shouldn't be doing it. Okay, so it's an old school exercise, and a lot of bodybuilders actually do it. There's no harm in doing it. Only make sure that you're going with your mobility like as much as you can. You just go all the way up and all the way down. So that's how you do it. You can also, if you cannot do that, no worries. You can just bring it in front of you, which is the normal military press, and just press it all the way up and down. So that's what we did in the first exercise. It was all the way, we started with like as low weight as possible and just went up to the max, and try to just go for like as many reps as possible. So the best would be like go for like 5 sets of like with the progressive overload as much as possible. So the next exercise that we did was dumbbell press. So here all you're doing is, so we already did like a compound, so basically you're hitting it from all the angles anyway. So now we're trying to isolate the front delts. So that's what we did. We jumped into dumbbell press, but we didn't do just dumbbell press. We supersetted that with upright row. So here's the trick. Dumbbells, since you did a compound, you don't have to go really heavy on it. Just press it and just try to isolate your front delts as much as possible. and then you superset that with like upright row. So this is another trick that I use. So when you're doing it with a easy bar or any kind of bar, make sure your grip replacement plays a big role when you're trying to do an upright row. So here's what I suggest. When you're doing it close grip, you're hitting more of your traps. When you're doing it wide, you're hitting more of your side delts. So when you're doing it, you can use, you know, 2 sets of like maybe your close grip and then 2 sets of maybe your, you know, outer grip, so that you can target it from all the angles as much as possible. Alright, then we jump into the third exercise, which is side delts. So yeah, this is my favorite. So when you're training shoulders, make sure you're hitting your side delts and your rear delts a lot, so that, you know, you get that gapness, you know, that round full look. So what we did was side lateral raises. So you can do it seated, you can do it standing, but I like to switch up. So what we did was we started with standing side lateral raises, and then we moved into seated, where it was all about like, so when we did standing, it was all about going as heavy as possible with strict form, and the seated was mainly to, you know, go for the isolation. So it's always good to have a partner with you. So Philippe was with me, and after the standing, we jumped into seated. But what we did was we just, you know, stayed in one angle, and we didn't move too much. So it was a very strict one, and all we did was take a lighter weight and just go with as much of isolation as possible.
In the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter.
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on, but you didn't even know. Wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard.
So this is the final exercise that we did at the end. That was rear delts. So what we did was we just bent a little more so that we hit our rear delts instead of a side delt. So here's the trick. So when you're doing this exercise, make sure, you know, you're bending a little more so that you're hitting your rear delts. So what happens is when you're standing, or when you're doing it like, you know, in a parallel, straight, in a perpendicular position, you're hitting your side delts more. So make sure you just bend a little more, and, you know, you hit your rear delts. So we did again like 4 to 5 sets of progressive overload, which is basically increasing the weight a little every set. And then we isolated the movement, and yeah, that was it. So make sure you hit your shoulders in all the angles, starting from your front to your side delts and to your rear delts. That's where you will get that roundness in you.
I'm in love with the way that you hold me when I fall back down. And I'm in love with the words from your voice that put me off the ground now. This love's been a long time coming. My breath slows but my heart keeps running. I'm so fed up of the lies that my heart believed in, but staring deep into your eyes makes it all forgiven. I feel my cover will be blown, my fears will grow out of control. Yeah, you still walk the path I follow anyways. I'm in love with the way that you hold me when I fall back down. And I'm in love with the words from your voice that put me off the ground now. This love's been a long time coming. My breath slows but my heart keeps running.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, share and subscribe for all the exciting content. Until then, see you guys next time.